Who is this, Omar?
Jaden Smith.
Jaden Smith.
He truly is an icon from the standpoint. Have you thought about this? Our stars are having stars that are becoming stars.
That's a good point.
And he's really, to me, I think Lenny Kravitz and Zoe Kravitz, the daughter of those two, that might be like the first generation of our Blue Ivy icons having icons kind of superstars. And I think Jaden P, I mean, we've known him forever. He's, you know, he was the new Karate Kid. He, you know, did movies where he was the star and his father was the co-star. But I have gravitated to his music a little bit more.
Sweet. So this is Fallen by Jaden Smith.
Yes. That's
how we're going to start the podcast. But before we do that, I have to say, what up, though? Welcome to the iHeartMiko podcast. I'm Miko Grimes. I'm joined by my ex-husband, who is never far.
Why I got to be the ex-husband? We're on a break.
We're on a break.
We're on a break because we will do this again at some point. We're on a break.
At some point.
You seeing other people. I'm seeing other people. But
we're seeing if we want to be back together.
Yeah, we trying it out.
No, you can't be having no break babies now. You got a few break babies, nigga. I have not had one break. I've been doing it solo.
You have. See, but I've been filling in. I've been dipping and diving, but I ain't had no break babies.
Okay, I'll give you that.
I'll
give you that. But thank you for coming in live.
Yes.
In my little lair. I call this my lair.
You know.
Do you like it?
I like it. I love it. We gonna get it. We gonna get it. We gonna get it together. I'm gonna get something for the lair. I'm going to find something and put a presence on the layer.
Spot. I'm telling you, I got plenty of spots up this wall. I got a couple spots over there. I can move some things. You know, I am open to all gifts for the lair.
Okay, all right.
For the Panther, I'm the female Panther's lair. This is what I call this.
Yes.
Because first of all, we got to say happy birthday to Malcolm X. Yesterday was his birthday. Well, technically Saturday because it's Monday now. This is going to air today. Hopefully, I get this out today. But it was the brother X's birthday Saturday. And I always tell people this, like, I think that Martin Luther King was important.
He was dope.
Valuable to the movement.
Yeah, absolutely.
But Malcolm X, that's how we gonna get some shit done. Right there. Because we've seen being nice, doing polite, and the right way, it takes you too long.
It's funny that you say that because I said something at the end of 2017, and that was going to be my 2018. I'm tired of being apologetically black.
Yeah, being sorry for who you are.
And I don't want to be apologetically black.
Let's turn our chairs a little bit so we can face each other.
Okay.
We can do this on
I mean, as somebody who works in mainstream,
sure we catch our faces on that camera there. As
somebody who works in mainstream media, you a lot of times have to turn down your blackness to make other people feel comfortable. And I'm 41. I just turned 41.
I know. Happy belated. It was Wednesday.
Yes, thank you. And what I realized last year, and I forget what was going on, but I'm just like, I'm tired of not being able to say fully, completely, without filtering what my thoughts are, what I feel, what's on my heart.
Being afraid you're going to be fired.
No, I ain't worried about that.
Oh, you over that now?
I'm over that now. I'm over that now.
Omar is going to fuck that nigga. That nigga was scared to get fired. I hated him.
That nigga right there, I was just, right now, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. I'm at a point now where it's like, what's going to be is going to be. And I need to, people have to understand, don't love the muted black person. Love the whole black person.
Yeah.
Don't love me because I got my volume down to 3 on my blackness.
Right.
Like, if I want to put my volume at 7, you need to love me then too. And hell, if I want to fucking put it on 10,
where I'm usually at.
Yeah, you're a 10. You're a 10. You done blew out a couple woofers in the back.
I wish a nigga would. That's what a 10 is.
It's the you on the fuck you I'm black level.
Yes.
I don't know if I ever get that.
You might not get that. That's okay. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I like about what you said is that it's honest. It's who you are. You don't have to be what someone else's black is. You know what I mean? We all have things that we value more and things that we will stand up for more for our blackness. You know, there are just different levels and layers to the values and the things that we're willing to deal with and turn down the volume for, and
yeah.
willing to turn it up
but here's
for.
the question is, why was I turning down the volume? Or why did I need to? Or why did I create this habit of, I went to an HBCU.
Yeah, what happened? What happened to you?
Maybe the corporate world?
Yeah, the radio
maybe
world,
the push to get paper?
Seeing your ex-wife get thrown to the. What was so funny about my firing is a lot of people keep saying, because of your bitch-ass homeboy Channing, saying that I wasn't good at my job, and that's part of the reason I got fired. Were they not moving me up the ranks?
Yes. You were moving up a lot quicker than I was.
And you've been there how long?
I've been 7 years.
And I'm 2 years.
They talking about putting you on Power 96, and I was like, wait a minute, I wasn't doing Power 96. I'm like,
but he constantly told people I wasn't good at my
job.
No,
that ain't true. That ain't true.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't know the inner workings of what was going on behind the scenes. I'm like, they putting you on other radio stations.
I was on Big O. I was doing Joe Rogan. Spots for me everywhere.
Found a spot. Not just that, but they were like, we don't want you in just sports. We want to make you a radio personality on Power 96. And I was like, wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute.
You don't know Miko.
No. I don't think that was the concern. They just knew that you were a talent, and they were trying to make the best.
And that's why I was that's why I was fucking with the station, because I really felt like they believed in until I got too black.
You know what? And let me say this. What bothers me about that whole situation, and I understand where you come from. Mm-hmm. If you're not fucking with me,
don't fuck with me at all.
Don't fuck with you at all.
Before I get up here, and then y'all chop my fucking neck off.
But what bothers me about that situation, and we're gonna move forward real quick, is that they never even sat down and listened to you in terms of
what happened,
stating your case. What happened? It was just bypass, get away, dump it.
Yeah.
And I would never. And to me, I only did one show after that happened, like one solo show, because I was just like, I don't really feel.
It wasn't the same.
No, it wasn't the same. Well, that wasn't the same, but I don't feel comfortable because
that could be you.
It could easily be me. I say this all the time to Maryland. I got in some shit with some nigga at the gym, and I just asked him to move. You know, can you move a little bit over? He got all heated and blah 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 blah. And I ain't say nothing because I was just like, the nigga moved. I asked him to move. He moved. He over there talking shit.
Let it go.
She's busting up like, oh, you got something to say? Yeah.
Oh,
I was just like, no. I was like, listen, you need to turn down, because it's a lot different when I get in. No, not just that. But if I get into something with this gentleman and I get arrested, that's news. That's news. That's my job is in jeopardy. That's not like, oh, this nigga, you know, something popped off. He got hit first. Because I ain't never going to get hit. I ain't never going to hit first.
Yeah, they never going to know the real story.
Yeah, it don't matter, the real story.
The only thing that matters is what came out first.
Exactly. So, that is so true.
Yes.
So, I was like, you got to understand, I know you supporting me by pop, and she popped off. I was like, but you got to understand, the game is different for me.
I had to learn that with Brent as well.
The game is completely different for me than it is for everybody else up in here.
Because you're the news.
Yeah.
And when you're the news,
like shit is exactly.
The news.
And your story was the #1 story in Sun Sentinel for all of that year that you got arrested. The whole year. Ain't nothing beat that.
Nothing beat my story.
I was just sitting there watching it at our end of the presentation. I was just like, that's so goddamn shameful. But I understand the #1 story and all of the Sun Sentinel that year when Miko got arrested and got dog whipped on the ground and just
for nothing. And I wish half of what they wrote in the police report was true. I wish.
It don't matter though. It don't matter.
It really
and that's the reality of the world that we live in, unfortunately. And I still have to play a role as the media as well. And I make sure that, you know, I'm one of those few people that say cover that shit is strong after the summary of it, the dismissal of it, cover that shit as strong as you did when it was getting you clicks.
Yeah.
But, you know, it is a reality of nobody cares.
Pretty much.
You doing charity work as an athlete, nobody cares.
Nobody give a fuck. They only want the nasty news. Everybody wants the bullshit, the drama, and everything. So, first of all, did you do anything for your birthday yet?
Yes.
What'd you do?
Marilyn took me to a nice restaurant, Chotomato or Mate. And then Mark, my friend Mark, we went to Kodo I believe I'm saying it right. It's in the Epic Hotel, and that was like a feast. That was a really, really nice dinner, and that's it. I wanted to do low key because
you done probably you in your 40s. You just you've done a lot, and
I'm
now
chilling.
it's just about memories with people, not really
absolutely
a whole bunch of nobodies that you paying a bill for.
You're right, and
I know
I'm blessed. I live a blessed life. I ain't grand, but I'm happy, and
that's what matters.
After everything I've been through, there's a price to be put on happiness.
Yes, it's important.
It's important, and to me, it's priceless.
And other people don't matter.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Cool. Well, I celebrated my anniversary early.
Yes.
We went to Houston for Game 2.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went to Atlanta for Kim Zolciak's 40th birthday party.
Saw that on the snap.
And then we went to Cleveland for Game 3. So I was lit.
And I saw those seats on Game 3. Those are some nice seats now.
You saw my video went viral?
No, I didn't.
The LeBron peekaboo? That was mine. Yes, from my snap.
I saw it on your snap. I didn't see it anywhere else, but I believe you.
Yeah, it went crazy. People, I got all these emails from ESPN even. They was like, hey, Miko, yes.
I was like, fuck no.
I actually let them have it. Brent said,
be diplomatic.
Let them have it. It's about LeBron. He's playing with you. I love seeing him play. He plays with his daughter so much, not just like that game, but a lot. He has a very good
that's what I want right there.
Interaction
that's what I
with
want.
his daughter.
A daughter.
Yeah. Oh God. We are the devil. But I said to myself, even though it's ESPN, I hate everyone there. I'm still gonna allow them to use the video. Whatever. It's LeBron.
I didn't see. I don't watch. I haven't. I don't watch TV. I just haven't watched TV.
No, it was on social media. It was trending.
Yeah. If it. Yeah.
It was cool. But I had a great time. I caught some hell from going to Kim Zolciak's birthday party because apparently, when she filmed the show Housewives of Atlanta, there was some edited scenes where she appeared to look like a full-blown racist. Okay. Now, me knowing Kim and knowing the rest of that cast and being able to speak to people, I know TV as well. I did a reality show, and a lot of people came away with my show thinking that I was a terrible mother.
Yes.
So I can absolutely see how editing can fuck you up.
That's true. When you don't have creative control.
And so when I watched it just like everybody else. You know what I mean? But I had already known about it before it happened because Kim and I are friends. I'm friends with Portia. I'm friends with Mia.
Saw you with Portia on the snap too this weekend.
So my girlfriend. So I'm able to hit them up. I talk to them live when it's actually happening and hear what's really going on. And Kim was blatantly set up. Like just there's a way to edit things.
As you were?
Yes. Hers was actually worse than mine, I believe. Okay. Because at least they didn't use her children. Well, mine was worse because they used my son against me, but it wasn't racism. Racism is something that just sticks to you. It doesn't matter if it's true or not. It's just once they say it and once they make it look like that, that's who you are. And I listened to her, what she had to say. I listened to some of what the other girls had to say. And I came across that thinking that absolutely not is Kim a racist in no way, shape, or form. And second of all, editing can make a lot of things look a certain way. And that's what I learned. For TV. And they have a need to make it look that way because
they have to have villains. This is why I didn't feel comfortable with you doing that reality show because they have to have villains. Yeah. And clearly, I'm going. A great villain. I want to make good TV because I do want to do reality show in terms of like creative directing, scoping, things of that nature. But if I do a reality show, I'm gonna look at you and I'm be like, yeah, Miko's a villain. Yeah, it got to be. It got to be.
I'm cool with being a villain, but not in a way that disrespects who I am. Like you could make me even look like a bully because I thought that's what the angle they were gonna run with me, that I was a bully. But what's so funny is they never aired all my bullying. When I had my finger in bitches' faces, like, bitch, what? Well, like none of this shit aired, but they wanted me to look like a bad mom. They were concerned. And I was just like, let me tell y'all something. So I just want to say to everybody that's listening that, watches my podcast, I don't give a fuck if you're upset at who I choose to be friends with. This is my life. I'm going to be friends with whoever the fuck I want to be friends with, even if you don't like them. And if you have a problem with it, don't follow, don't listen to my podcast. I don't give a fuck. You know why? Because you will never matter in my life. I'm doing this because I enjoy it, not because I need you to do something for me. Okay? So everybody needs to know that people were threatening to unfollow me, not listen to my podcast. Bitch, bye. Bye.
Yeah.
Good the fuck bye, because I'm the right one. Because I'm not doing this to pay my bills.
That's what I love about social media. The threat of I'm on follow you. Why do you need to announce it? Like what?
Hit the button and keep it moving, like I do. When I see some shit from somebody I don't fuck with, I just unfollow and go about my business.
I used to block people and embarrass them.
I still do that every now and then.
I do it every now and then. You got some message. You got some message.
No, you still got to fuck you.
Yeah, you got to call somebody. Hey, once in a while, be like, yeah.
Is this your case?
I still call heads now.
Every now and then.
I remember the time I trolled a guy who was trolling me. I fucking I was on the flight, so I was bored.
Yep, that's when it's time to do it.
God, I went through his whole timeline. Every fuck shit he did.
Oh yeah, killed him.
Killed him.
You're
like,
that's very controlling right there.
You crossed the line. You went too deep.
You love it when you cross the line.
I was just like, he did it to me?
Yeah,
why is it not acceptable for me to do it to him?
Football wife, I shouldn't be able to say certain things to people, and I'm like, that's your bad that you thought that.
Yeah.
You're bad, my nigga. But good to hear that we both had good weeks. Shit was fun.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you.
How many years?
Birthday, 8.
How many did they say it was going to last?
None.
They didn't give you that 2.
No, they didn't. No.
It took like 2 years to get a divorce. You couldn't make it 2.
I was a gold digger, old
of
gold
course
digger.
You was a gold digger. I was a gold digger too.
Old as fuck,
yeah.
Gold digger. Chasing a nigga from the practice squad. It's so funny, but
for those who don't know, because I know a lot of people who listen to your show is not really into sports, but practice squad dudes make what, 80,000?
Yeah, I think he was at the 100,000.
He got like a 20 grand raise. Like, nigga, we like you some money, we gonna give you extra 20 grand.
Before taxes. Okay?
Yeah, we like you some money, we gonna give you extra 20 grand.
Yeah, and then for my family, it was a young football player that's probably gonna beat me. Or just he's just gonna be with me for right now, and then dump me for a younger, badder, hotter bitch.
White bitch. Don't forget
probably
the white bitch.
White bitch. Yeah. So it was kind of like nobody really believed that we could make it happen. So, cheers to 8 years. Oh, it's not till Wednesday though, but we celebrated early because the schedule worked out perfectly where we could go to Houston instead of going all the way to Oakland. So we stayed to Houston, then Atlanta, Cleveland, and came back home.
So you had to do it in Cleveland because I know you know.
Yes, I needed to be in quick, and I had to be behind the bench. I had to talk my shit to LeBron. Hey, my nigga, I have look at this shirt. I bought this on the streets of Cleveland after the game. It says, I can't go up too high because I'm in underwear. But it says LeBron fucking James. Yes, I'm talking about those street shirts are everything, and you helping your local, man, people on the streets. Like it's cool.
I'm going. Like my goal for 2018 is to invest in me and the things that I want to do and believe in. And I actually want to create shirts. I'm doing
a onesie line. Because I'm just known for onesies.
And I love your onesies. I do. But you gotta get some silk onesies. Think about that.
I'm gonna
think
make
about some soft material.
Yes. Not just flannel, because we're in Florida, and that's a different type of must.
See, here's my thing. When my lady is wearing, I don't like her to wear clothes to bed, because I don't want to feel like
the clothes.
I want to feel skin. I want some
skin. You know I got a good side to me.
And you gotta give it since it's gonna be a female one, you gotta give it like a little area where we can
Oh God, you want a flap?
I want a flap.
I want a button the outlet.
I want a flap. I just want easy access. I don't want to be zipping you down and out. Think about it. Give it some thought.
I'm gonna give it some thought, my nigga. Let's get into some of these topics before our guests. We're gonna have a guest on to talk basketball. But before that, I wanted to get some of these football topics off on you.
All right.
One of them I wanted to get your opinion on is T.O. saying him not being on the field right now is a joke.
Oh my God!
Play.
How
There's
old
no
is he?
question about it. T.O. is approximately 44, going on probably 64. Why does T.O. think that he should be playing in the league right now?
Because he's already I'm sure Jerry Rice thinks he could play in the league right now.
Why though? Why do you
when your mind
think physically that you can do it, but it's another thing for you to think someone would take you seriously, knowing that there's much cheaper.
They barely tolerated him at the end of his.
When you were
5 years in his career, when you were dope.
You were the man. They got you.
Dallas said, "No, we had too much. We can't do it too much."
Yeah,
when Dallas said that, and a lot of teams did give him another chance after Dallas. But when Dallas said, "No, my nigga,
we off you," that's bad.
It's just too much.
Everybody.
It's not me. It's you.
Yeah.
Like, that was just like, it's not me, it's you.
Why does he not understand how
he's
disrespectful it is as well?
I think he's doing it for his own mind. I mean, obviously, his mind has driven him a lot, and it makes him still train hard and work hard. Like, look at his body. I mean, it's quite impressive.
But it's one thing to look a certain way. It's a complete other thing to be able to move and do those type of things. Like I just think about watching him, get guarded by some of these other corners in the league where the game has changed a little bit.
It has.
You know what I mean? It's just like, it just sounds a little disrespectful to me. Because I don't think that 44.
Hold on, but could T.O. make a 53-man roster in the NFL?
No.
I'm sorry, Miko, but there's a lot of 5th and 6th receivers on some teams that are whack as fuck. Now, would you want him on your team? No, because you wouldn't want him in the locker room. You think that he actually has the talent? Yeah, to contribute, not to be a star, to be better than.
When is T.O. ever going to contribute? He gonna be banging on the locker rooms whenever he in there not getting the ball, saying, "I'm better."
Which is why he not playing. Which is why. I don't think it's physically. I don't
know. All I see is drills. I have not seen a game. I'm not finna sit here and watch drills and think you nice, nigga. Still, you have to go through an entire game. There are ups and downs of a game. You get hit. You know what I'm saying? Can he bounce back? Like,
the recovery. His body was starting to fall apart at the end.
See what I'm saying? His knees are gonna start falling. Like, there's a lot that goes into playing a 16-game season, not just running some routes and being able to and come out of a break and shit. Like, a
which
double
one
move.
Ended in CFL? Was it Chad? Chad went to
CFL. Yeah, I believe.
Yeah, he ain't never going to CFL.
Yeah, but
just go in the Hall of Fame and be quiet, because nobody want to put him on TV. So
bye. Speaking of CFL, Johnny Manziel signed in the CFL.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of this move by him? Like, I think it's humbling a bit, and I hate the word humbling. I hate it so much.
It shouldn't be humbling.
I think that for him, who he thought he was, how he came in,
Manziel.
This shit, for him to degrade himself and go to the CFL, to me, it almost says
it's not degrading.
It is for him, for what he thought he was. This is a degradation.
You haven't been anything for the last 2 years.
It doesn't matter what he thought in his mind. You know what I mean?
Do you want to play football or not?
That's what we're going to find out. So I think that this tells us he actually does.
He has to humble. Here's the thing.
Going there just says he does.
The NFL will welcome him back. You know why they will welcome him back? He can sell tickets.
And he's white.
He can sell tickets.
And he's white. No black quarterback that did these type of drugs.
Oh, hell no. Yeah, you're all right. You got some
accusations of the beating of women.
No, yeah, you're right. You're right. And the admission that you didn't work hard during your career.
I admitted that I didn't do a motherfucking thing.
I didn't know what the fuck I was supposed to be doing. I was just out there playing.
Fuck it. Okay, Brett Favre.
They need to see not only can he stay clean.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And adhere to a drug program.
Can he follow the rules? Can he learn how to watch film?
Can he be coachable?
Yes.
Can he lead his team to a winner? I was never a big fan of him to begin with, but
a lot of people weren't. I'm a fan of raw talent. I will say that. I will take raw talent over something that was taught any day of the week. That's just for starting off. Okay. For the ground level.
Yes.
I would take raw talent over a motherfucker with no raw talent but has been taught how to throw a ball well and all that. I will take the raw talent. However, what it doesn't tell me is that he can actually play in the NFL yet.
No.
And so this is something that we can actually look at and say whether or not we think talent-wise he's actually capable, even though it's just a CFL.
He's capable. Trust me. He's capable. We're
going to see.
Bryce Petty.
I'm talking about the whole shebang, not just on the field, off the field.
Dolphins claim Bryce Petty after the Jets waived him. Trust me, he Johnny Manziel, even not knowing what he's supposed to be doing, is better than Bryce Petty.
Yikes!
But that trust me, I've seen some garbage quarterbacks over these years. And
you one right at home with you. There's one right in your backyard. He wears number 17.
Listen. Stop it. I will not say his name at all during the show.
Oh God, let me move on.
But they want to see Johnny Manziel prove that you could be a professional.
Right.
Not just on the NFL level where the stars are shining and everybody wants to kiss your ass and be your friend and have you market and promote this. Just show us that you could be you play football still, and you're a professional.
Right. Moving on. Sports betting, gambling.
Yeah.
Is lit. Supreme Court has legalized sports betting. What does this mean for sports, especially a sport like football? And the second part of this question is, how important are referees now?
Ooh. Yeah. I don't know if NFL referees are drastically critically important, but definitely in the NBA.
Yes,
extremely in the NBA. To me, I think the only hope that I have for legalization of sports betting is that it can save my industry, sports media.
That is true. I did see the plus for us.
Sports media, the analysts, people like me who tell you, yo,
who to bet on, who you shouldn't bet on.
I don't do that technically.
I'm going, if anyone would like to throw me some coins in the NFL, you already know I know what be going on. So even come on over here. A bitch would love that coin. Go ahead. Even
going back to when I used to cover the University of Miami, I didn't know this at the time, but the people who created betting lines, they somehow created a relationship with me and followed me to enhance their betting line. I didn't know this at the time, but I didn't know. I was too young and too inexperienced and too green to know. But that was when the Hurricanes were great and everybody was betting on them, and people needed that inside intel to create the lines. And it's still important, especially in the NFL, because what we say and what we dictate and what we say these injuries are a factor. This is going to change the matchup. Can Jesse Davis play? Can he not play? You know, those things.
Big business.
Big business.
Now it's a big business.
So I'm happy.
Rolling.
I'm happy. I need an exit plan for this profession, but
I don't. But I like another coin. So the church doors, as they say, the church doors will be open in the NFL. That's where the big money at. Y'all know I know everything.
See, here's my concern, and this is my biggest fear about it, and obviously it's a major fear for all these sports leagues, is now players can bet. And they can also impact the outcome.
Especially the motherfuckers that don't got the
And it don't matter if like, and I don't want to say Brent name, but
yeah, you can say Brent name. Fuck whoever got a problem with it. Go ahead.
Brent, let's just say, all right, Brent, you don't bet on the team, but Miko can show damn bet on the team, and Brent best friend can show damn bet on.
And if I know that goddamn somebody gonna be injured, somebody gonna be out,
absolutely,
who's not 100%,
absolutely,
I know who's not. Nigga,
I'm like, that shit is on. Like, you know, they had a bad week of practice.
Yes.
You know, somebody scared to go against this matchup. Oh man,
I even know statistically whether or not a team's going to be running the ball that week or throwing it, and who's going to get what stats.
It could get real.
Ooh-wee.
It could get real.
I'm excited, but as far as NBA and the referees concerned, this could be very bad, because if you don't pay the referees enough to cover those spreads of what they could make if they bet
already
on
had a
it.
Scandal.
Yes, we are, and this is before it was legal.
Shit,
it's on.
It'll make things interesting. I didn't know how much more interesting, but I'm interested to see how it gets unleashed. Now we got a hockey team in Vegas making it to the Stanley Cup,
and this is what's making it even worse. It's like now we're gonna have two teams in Vegas. It's only right that it's legal now. It's got to be.
It's like marijuana. Why wasn't it illegal to begin with?
Because black people were going to jail so that the man could profit off of them. So pretty much. But anyways, I'm gonna get one more topic, and then I'm gonna call my guest. One more thing we can talk about. J.J. Watt is going to pay for the funerals of the students murdered by the American terrorist, is what I call him. I'm not gonna say his name, but
that's a good approach.
American terrorist who killed 17 people at his high school. And did you know that there have been 22 school shootings this year, and this has only been 20 weeks of 2018?
No, I did not know that. 22 school shootings?
22.
Not all mass murders, but somebody just popping somebody. I went to Carroll City, so that shit happened like 3 times a year.
Yeah.
So I'm like, nobody cared then.
But yeah, because you know what's so funny? I said this will matter when a black kid shoots up a white school. That's maybe when Congress, maybe when our government, maybe if we had black kids shooting up white schools, my nigga. Because you know these kids ain't coming to the hood schools. You know why? Because we going to fire back. You had trouble getting out of the hood. You come shooting up a school in the hood.
It's sad. Here's my thing about this whole school shooting situation. Now it's a crisis.
Yes.
I went to Carroll City in 1992, At that time, we had metal detectors in the school. All doors were locked. You exit. You was locked in. If it was a fire, then fuck you. You was gonna burn the motherfucker down. And the gates to it's like a jail. Once you in, you ain't getting out. And we had to go through metal detectors. This was 20 years ago.
20.
So we was dealing with this crisis 20 years ago. Now that it's happened to be white schools that are getting shot up, or predominantly white schools are getting shot up.
Hold on. No.
Now, I'm not saying there's mass shootings in our schools, but shit, you knew people had guns. You knew people. But everybody understood. That's why we couldn't keep a record. But
there was nobody shooting up the black schools. They just had the guns for protection.
True.
Yes. You know? So it's a little bit
think
different.
About the environment where you have to carry a gun, or because
white kids don't even know nothing about that.
I'll be transparent. Like in high school, I had to buy a gun for protection. Like this was my reality in 11th grade, and had to keep it in my car in 11th grade. This was reality for me.
Wow.
And like now, 20 years later, I'm sure it's worse. And now people care.
I don't think people care. I feel like people are now saying, did you hear that they're saying now that we should arm the teachers? We should train the teacher and we should arm them.
That sounds like a disaster waiting to happen.
First of all, we didn't even train the fucking cops.
Yeah.
These motherfuckers never got trained. So why do we think that they're going to actually train teachers who make just as little as police officers per year?
Cops, they're trained on, you're right, they're trained to use a gun and trained to shoot, and they can't pass the academy until they hit a certain mark, but they're not properly trained.
No, you're not trained to de-escalate situations. They're not trained.
So how many teachers are you going to train?
Exactly.
How many?
You're going to train the principal, and then the principal's job is going to be to train everybody else, probably.
And the gun is what, supposed to be in a lockbox?
Exactly. People act like teachers don't have mental health issues as well. All that sounds like to me.
Didn't like 2 months ago a teacher just shot
in a classroom? Yeah, it sounds like to me a disaster waiting to happen, where teachers are then
America's a disaster waiting to happen,
shooting the kids in the classroom because they're upset about something. They want attention.
I felt my life was threatened. Tyrone was approaching my desk with an angry scowl, and
I feared my life.
I feared my life, and to protect myself,
I had to blast
him with these 22. Yes.
I had to cap that ass. Tyrone had to go down.
After I took it out of the lockbox.
Yes.
Yes, and aimed, and the whole classroom cleared out. Yeah.
Some bullshit.
It's stupid.
I'm not rolling with it at all. I think it's a stupid idea. I think what needs to happen is we really need to, first of all, get rid of certain guns. I'm all for the Second Amendment right. I think that the people need to be armed because I don't trust the government. I damn sure don't trust law enforcement or whatever the fuck they are. So I feel we do need to be
the
armed.
boys in blue.
However, there should be certain guns that are not allowed. Why are automatic weapons able to be bought by regular people? Those are not to de-escalate or defend. They are to murder. They are to kill. And those guns we shouldn't even be able to possess them to begin with. There's just certain weapons that we shouldn't have access to as a people, regardless of the Second Amendment rights. And that's a start, because then you can't kill so many people. Then a motherfucker got to reload that. At 9.
That's how the Waffle House guy got him.
Yeah, because he had to reload.
Shit, I'm proud of that man, because he
that
did
could have
shit.
been way worse.
It could have went way worse, but he did something when he had to reload. And we got to make sure that they got to reload.
Yeah.
And it take them a minute to reload.
That can just let off a round like that. Like, that is so dangerous, and I just don't understand what that has to do with defending yourself and protecting yourself, which is what the Second Amendment right should be about. When it was first made, you had to put gunpowder in the goddamn gun.
When it was first made, the North was fighting the South.
The guns were completely different. Now it's like, okay, we have better guns. This shit is different now. We need to change. A lot of the Constitution needs to be thrown away and started over, rewritten. You know that we're the only country, I believe, we might be the only country that hasn't rewritten their Constitution or their laws and things. Like, people are evolving with time.
I had not thought about that. I'm not comfortable rewriting the Constitution right now. Just right now, because you might become 2/3 of a human.
We still need to write something, because I feel like we still have some things in place where it could still benefit us. But a lot of this shit just needs to be thrown away completely, like thrown away. You know, some of the things that don't even matter anymore that are still laws, like, for example, the Amendment 13 and the ways that we legally can be put in jail for no reason. You know, there's just a lot of backwards hidden laws in these amendments and these constitutions that pretty much set the tone for us to be in jail the way we are. Like Meek Mill, for example. He got 10 years of probation and parole for such a small crime. That's like a lifetime to be a good citizen, to not fuck up, to be perfect. Could you imagine that pressure? If you do one thing wrong in the next 10 years, you're going back for 10 more years. Like, that's crazy for such a small crime. And that's because of the way the laws are set up. And we have to change the laws. We have to change the legislation. And that's the only way that anything is, that we can fight back.
Can you imagine getting piss tests for 10 months? 10 years?
I'm high right now. I was just smoking before you got here, nigga. It's not gonna happen, okay? I can't get no job where they piss testing. I refuse.
Yeah, you was like, I'm fighting that case because I could not be on no damn parole.
I'm just not going to take the job.
Yeah.
I'm not taking no job where I have to take any type of piss test whatsoever. It's not happening anymore. I'm too rich. I'm too old.
Where is it? New York? They're changing.
MJ keeps flashing on the damn camera, so I got to turn him around. Hey, boo. What'd you say now?
Something came up about MJ. Janet Jackson got the Icon Award for Billboard.
Can you believe that? Of all this time, they've been stealing our culture, stealing our music, and this is the first black icon for the Billboard Awards. Are you fucking kidding? Are you serious?
Hold on, she's the first black? I thought she was the first black woman.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Same thing.
I mean, Janet should get it before Beyonce.
We've had lots of impressive women in music, especially black women, and this is the first one.
You know what? I've been watching some podcasts on TV. You was one of the first. I will always tell you that you are a trendsetter because you know what's coming next. And I was watching some podcasts on TV, and both J. Cole and Meek Mill was like, because I went to Rolling Loud, people who are gravitating to our culture and our music and our concerts and supporting our industry are the white kids, the suburbs. Yes. That's why
the message is so important right now.
Yeah.
That's why it's so important, because these white kids are not like their parents.
They're
proudly loving black people.
What's the little white girl? The little white girl, 10 years old.
Bad Baby?
No.
Lil Tay.
Lil Tay. And got her mama fired and all this kind of stuff. They have a video out that's showing, she's reading lines and things like that. And then, they're giving her direction. And she literally looks like a 9-year-old. She talks like a 9-year-old. Really talks like a 9-year-old. But she's really instructed. She's instructed to talk shit like she's grown and from the hood. And it just reminded me, I saw that, and I saw that Little Tay. I discovered her a month ago, and I immediately was like, we're in trouble as a culture, because
that's what's
lit. These white kids are gravitating, seeing the shit that we look down on, and
we make fun of our black being, and they're getting paid to do it.
Yeah.
That's how they're the culture vultures.
It is indeed culture vultures. They've taken off.
We're gonna take a quick break so I can figure out exactly where my fucking guest is, and we'll be right back. And I'm back. My next guest goes by the name of Sarah Frasier, and she has her own podcast. She's located in the D.C. area. She's like a sister girl to me, even though she's a white girl. But her and I met a few years back. I'll let her kind of tell the story of how we kind of met and how we became friends, and about her podcast and all the things she has going on. And one of the main reasons that I wanted to have her on is because she was all into the royal wedding, and it seems like she has a lot of information on it, some shit I don't know or give a fuck about. But I figured I would just have her on so that maybe she could educate me and my listeners on why America is so obsessed with the royal family and the royal couple and dukes and duchesses and all this dumb shit. I don't know, but let's just have some fun, step outside of our box and be classy and etiquette. Pinky up.
Hey, Miko.
Hey, girl.
How are ya?
Good.
Good.
Welcome to the iHeartMiko podcast.
I'm a little excited because this is my first time ever being on.
I know. It's so cool. You had me on your podcast. I feel like twice I've been on, right?
You have, yes, yeah. And you're amazing.
I was amazing on there.
Yes, you were so good. And I can remember the first time. I am forever grateful for you because you were probably the first big name guest that really took a chance and was on my podcast. And that was probably a couple years ago. You had gone viral and I reached out to you and I was like, you know what? I really admire the fact that you put it all out there about yourself and the NFL. And I was like, I would love to have you on my podcast. And you actually took the risk and you were on. So I'm forever grateful.
Yes, I loved it. It was fun. I like that I found a woman who, kind of spoke about how she felt as well. Like you were very different than the other podcasts and radio shows I've been on. You kind of speak a truth and I liked it. It was real. And so it was easy for me to come on. I'm just happy to know that I was someone big on your shit.
Yes. Oh my God, absolutely. And I got a lot of great feedback from people on that podcast and it was great. And I think you probably remember because we tweeted about it and there was great feedback. And then there were people that were like, oh, whatever. Why'd you have Miko on?
Trying to hate on me.
Yeah. And we were both like, fuck you.
Yes, bitch. When I saw that you cuss, I was like, you know what? This is a woman after my heart right now. Oh
my God, I'm so bad. And I have to tone it down because honestly, I would tell people to fuck themselves all the time. It's terrible.
I'm trying to get better at it. I really feel like it's gotten better on my social media. Now I try to do it as least as possible. I only do it when I feel like, this person really needs to suck a fucking dick. And I need to tell them, but I used to tell everybody to suck a dick before. And now it's just a certain select few. I've narrowed the lane down to a certain few fuck boys and girls that need to suck a dick. So progress. This is all I can give them is this much progress. I can't give them anything else. But I wanted first of all for you to tell my listeners about your podcast and where they can find it and all those good things in case I forget at the end.
Yes. Well, my podcast is called Hey Frasier because my last name is Frazier. And growing up, everybody in high school used to always be like, hey, Frasier. Like no one ever called me Sarah. So I created the podcast a little over 2 years ago. And I think it's a lot in the spirit of like who you are. You and I both have backgrounds in radio. And I felt like radio was just very oppressive for women. I felt like women were never the leads of any morning, never any morning shows, never any afternoon shows. And so after like 8 years in radio, I just said, you know what, fuck it. Like I want to start my own podcast that's about life and pop culture and has a female lead. And I want to interview guests that are controversial and that people
want to actually listen to and hear a different side of things as opposed to the same rhetoric. Like everyone's spitting out the same shit all the time.
Yes. And I really wanted it to be really real. Like lots of times in radio, at least for me, I was always cast on a morning show as there's a formula of the dick, the dork, and the dough. And, the guy that leads is always the dork, who likes planes and trains and all that crap. And then, you've got the dick, who's like the young guy. And then you have like the endearing woman, right? Like no matter where, like, I think this is true of all radio stations and all radio genres, but you have that woman who's like, has to be sweet and nice and, kind of the voice.
Politically correct and right. And yeah.
And I just didn't want to be that anymore.
Usually.
Okay, well, in my case, small tits.
Right.
But
mine too at the time, but whatever.
So anyway, I think it's just a really real show. We do talk some pop culture stuff and, I just try to do and have conversations that, open the way for people to think differently because I'm always trying to do that myself of like, see things from someone else's point of view.
Okay. I feel that from you.
People can find the Hey Frasier podcast on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio. It's just Hey Frasier is Frase.
Okay, cool. Now, moving on. So Now let's talk before we get into this. I wanted you to come on and talk about this royal wedding because, first of all, bitch, let me just tell you something. I did not watch. I haven't even YouTubed any. I haven't checked. The most information I have is whatever's on Instagram. Okay, I have zero interest. So I felt like following you. You shined silver and shit, bitch. You had a tea party. Like, that shit looked lit though. I was like, damn, I wish I cared this much because. Like, I love an opportunity to be a girl. I'm always such a tomboy all the time. So anytime I even just put makeup and a dress on, like, it's like Halloween for me, So I would have loved to, like, dress up, but I didn't care. But before we get into this wedding stuff, I wanted to give you an opportunity to talk about the situation that with Fox and the kid, because I know what's going to happen next is a lot of my listeners are going to hit me and say, why did you have that bitch on your podcast? She's this, she's that, blah, 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 blah. So I want to give you an opportunity to discuss what happened with you and your show on Fox.
Yes. And the incident that you're referring about, and you probably set it up, was probably about a month and a half ago. I work for the local Channel 5 affiliate, which is Fox affiliated here in DC. And so we were doing this segment called Tuesday Talkers, and it was a segment every single week of just stories that like people could debate about, right? Like in the past, we've done like a lot of relationship things. So the irony of this whole thing was the day that we did the story about Michael Brown, who is the kid in Texas who got accepted to 20 colleges, got a full ride, they'd actually canceled that segment because it wasn't getting enough like debate online.
Right.
So we do this story about Michael, and the kind of, I feel like, because I've talked a lot about this and I'm continuing to learn from this, but the shitty part about this whole thing was this day being like we were going to cancel it. So a reporter's in the newsroom and we had no stories. It was like 10 minutes before we were supposed to do this segment live on air, no stories. And this woman, this female reporter who was a part of the segment comes up and she's like, hey, I have a story for you. Like, what really drives me nuts is this kid in Texas who applied to 20 schools and he's taking spots from other kids, blah, blah, blah. So without thinking, like myself, the producers there, Allison Seymour, who's Black, she was a part of the segment. Nobody, because we had canceled this and everybody just wanted to kind of get it behind them, no one thought through this story.
How it would be, the responses.
The responses. And quite frankly, the fact that at the end of the day, the kid has the right to apply to as many schools as he wants.
Right.
And then on top of that, he's this Black kid from a part of Texas that, he really has lifted himself up. And instead of celebrating that, from the hood, and your words.
Yes,
Don't
my
get me in more
words.
trouble.
I know, my words from the hood. He's one of us. He's one of my niggas, and he got accepted into 20 different universities that he applied for. Every single one of them, he got accepted, and this was a moment of triumph for him and the hood. And so you guys went on Fox and you discussed it, and then what happened?
So basically, what happened was I set the story up, and first mistake was I set the story up and I said, hey, is it ridiculous that this kid, Michael Brown, applied to 20 colleges? And then my co-host there, Holly Brown, who was the other white woman, goes, I think it's obnoxious. I think it's ridiculous. And he's taking spots from other people. And Allison, who, like I mentioned, she was the only Black anchor part of this segment. I really genuinely think Allison did not even have time to read the story. I don't even think she knew anything about the story. Exactly.
Fair.
So we do this story, we get done, and then like a day or so later, people were hitting me up and they were like, I was seeing comments on my social media like, hey, I can't believe you did that story. Why were you guys debating Michael's accolades?
This hurt his feelings. You guys had him on the show too, right?
Well, the part of the story is he called the station.
Yeah, he called. Yeah.
Right. And the thing that a lot of people, which I don't expect people to understand, and I don't expect people to, I know why people are upset, and I definitely learned a lesson from it, but I'm a contributor there. So like a lot of people are like, oh, you're a Fox anchor, how dare you? And it's like, I'm not a Fox anchor. I'm not there day to day. And if I had been running the newsroom, I would have gone on air the next day and immediately apologized, because once I watched the segment back, I knew exactly what it looked like,
Right.
And it 100% looked like two white women were tearing down this kid who's making something of his life. And then the one Black anchor isn't jumping in to support him.
She's just frozen. She's just like, oh, what's happening here?
But I don't run the newsroom, and I'm not there every day. And a couple days after, I had gotten wind that Michael himself had called the station and was upset. He and his mom, for them, at least this is what they told me, because I apologized to both of them directly, that it wasn't about race for them. It was about the fact that he had genuinely worked really hard. And for him, this was such a big accomplishment. And they were hurt that we would make this a story that it all seemed negative.
Yeah.
So when I got wind of that, I found him on Twitter, which was the only place that I could find him. And I immediately apologized to him. And I said, we were wrong. We never should have debated your accomplishments, period.
Right.
And I found his mom and Berthina, and I found her on Facebook, and I wrote her a message, and I said, look, we didn't think this story through. And I said, that's not an excuse. We're in journalism. We should have a producer. We should have kind of check and balances, but no one did their due diligence that day, and we shouldn't have done this story, and I'm sorry. And they both wrote back. They were very gracious. They were very, very forgiving. Fox has never addressed it. They didn't put out an apology that I know of.
Which is rude, but it's Fox.
My thought was we should apologize, because of course, people are going to make mistakes. We do hundreds of stories every day. And I think if somebody is upset, and especially the audience reaction, why not?
Yeah.
Why not? So anyway, I am a contributor there, and then I have my own business, and I work for myself. So for me, I was like, look, I want to talk about this on my show, and I want to address this with Michael. And he actually accepted a full ride to Stanford, because we've messaged since then. And so, the cool part is he's going to go on and do amazing things. And for me, I just have to be like, I learned so much.
You work for Fox, Sarah. And you are like very pro-black, like you like black people, girl. What is your demographic of your podcast?
It's mostly white and black women.
Yes,
mostly white and black women. Yeah,
you have black women listening to you. So I just feel like you are going to have to, at some point, I don't know how it's going to happen or what's going to happen. Fox is going to keep trying you, girl. You have to be careful, because I know you as a person. I know who you are. And sometimes we can get pulled into stuff, and dragged out with them, and they can just leave you hanging, They can just leave you out to dry. And you just need to make sure that everything that you do is up to your moral standards, not your jobs, And so
I really appreciate that.
Yes.
Yeah. And you and I have had those conversations too offline, and I'm really grateful for that.
Yeah, because, I know you, so I never even jumped. Like, you sent it to me, like, let me explain. Before I even really was like, I heard about it, and I was like, let me just let this sit for a second. And you were like, let me explain. And that's how I knew that you really didn't mean that, That's not who you were, and you have a conscience about things, And so that's why I really fuck with you, like I do. Yeah. I can see you're a really, really good friend.
And I really appreciate that, because that was the hardest part, was that's not who I am. That's not my brand. I don't want to be a person who doesn't apologize when things happen. Right. And, and I think that's the thing I learned from you and many other friends that I have, is like, being white, lots of times you don't think, you have to learn about white privilege, which I am still learning about, because if nobody tells you, you don't
realize it.
Right.
You think it's normal. Like, these things that you're afforded, like natural things that you think like, oh, everybody has this privilege. No, they don't.
Right. Exactly. And that was the ignorant statement that we made with that story, is thinking, well, who's this kid? When in fact, it's like, this is a major accomplishment. Yes. And
it's nothing for a lot of white kids to be offered all these scholarships, but black kids in the hood, it is different, and it is to be celebrated and not to be mocked. And then I thought about it too, and I was like, when they were saying something about it's taking up spots from other kids, I feel like it's not, because those schools know who they want, how many they can give out, and if they're willing to put other kids on hold for that child, then that's what's happening. Schools have a choice as to who they accept. And they wait a certain amount of time to wait, because they want that product. They want that. And if your child isn't one of those high ones up at that time, then you just got to wait till these other kids fall off and make a choice, and then those other ones become available. That's kind of how it goes when you're dealing with scholarships. That's the same thing in sports. Certain schools are going to offer an athlete early because they really want him really badly. And then if he doesn't accept it, if he, then you can come in. That doesn't mean you're not smart or you're not good at the sport. It's just there's a hierarchy to it sometimes. And it should be celebrated regardless.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you. And yeah, it's given me a lot of things to think about and still think about because, I worked in radio and I was a part of some stories that went viral years ago, but that was like a whole different, it was just a whole different feeling.
I bet you were getting people calling you a racist and everything.
Yeah.
Changes shit, don't it?
It does because you're like, oh fuck,
because if that's not you, like you're feeling a way about that, like, oh hell no, I got to clean this shit. I do not want that stain on my resume. You've probably done a lot of fucked up things, but you do not want to be called a racist when you're not.
Exactly. And too, look, I mean, I have a ton to learn. So by no means all I want to do is help and move the cause forward, in whatever way that people of color think that I can assist. So what killed me in that day was it's like, I don't want to be a part of a story that doesn't do that, and that's what really bothered me. And then of course, when you have thousands of people that don't know you, basically making an assumption, which of course, and I've done that to lots of people too, but
we all have.
But I'm grateful to people like you who were good friends, who stuck by me, gave me advice, and then, letting me be on your podcast. So I hope, just let people hear my side of the story. I know people still feel very heated about it. And, it's hard because lots of people too were like, I don't accept your apology. And that was tough because I am used to people.
Yeah, you used to people saying, oh, I accept it. But to hear people say, no, go fuck yourself, Sarah. I'm off you now. Yeah, that's a real thing. You got to be willing to accept whenever you do fuck up or do something that, you need to apologize for. Yeah, it's life.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm very thankful for our friendship because you really gave me some great advice through that.
Well, I'm grateful for yours too. I hope I never need to use you in that type of way. But on to some cool, fun, different things. Of course, my listeners are not royal family-esque. We do not give a fuck. But I would like to, be cultured. I would like to learn a little bit. And so I figured maybe you can help me understand the big deal of Meghan. I understand in the Black community why Meghan marrying him is a big deal. And there's two sides to that. Let me just keep it real with you. There's this one side where Black people are like, yes, the royal family is getting some soul food, blah, blah, blah. And then there's another side that says, no, fuck that. Like, she's not Black. She had her nose done. She's taken the whitest parts of her and highlighted those. And she's not even an actress anymore. She's literally just given up her whole life as an American, period, to be someone else. So what? Oh,
that's a good take too.
Yeah. So a lot of women are offended by that because she was a struggling actress and she basically just gave up the struggle of being an independent actress to be the wife of the hotter brother, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, I agree with you 100%.
Definitely the hotter brother. If you're going to pick one of them two motherfuckers, she picked the right one. Let's be clear. But give me some information. Let me know, why do we care? Why should we care? And just give me whatever you can to help me understand.
Well, I do think, whether you agree with it or not, it was a historic moment. And their ceremony was the first time the royal family, first of all, they had an all-Black choir.
Yeah, I saw that.
Stand By Me, which was absolutely beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And, they had a prominent Black bishop, Bishop Curry, who spoke from Chicago and gave a very empowering speech about... Oh yeah,
I have to interrupt this speech part because I caught a little bit of it and I had to turn it off because I really hate weddings where the pastor or the minister turns the wedding into church. Get on with it. I'm Black too, but just get the fuck on with it. It just seemed very long and very aggressive, like Black Baptist churches kind of. It seemed like a lot to me. Just me. And I had a wedding.
Agree with you.
Okay, they do. Good. Keep going.
Yeah,
sorry.
They felt it was no. Jump in because I want to hear your thoughts on it because a lot of people felt like it was very long.
Yeah.
People had mixed feelings about the royal family's reactions because they panned to the crowd and you see like
those
Camilla,
faces.
I mean, they were definitely in shock, right? Because they had not heard. I mean, he was talking about love and breaking down all boundaries and people need to leave with love and not oppression and, kind of bringing up some of the things too that, the monarchy has ruled with fear.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
and been very controlling of people. And I mean, not good. So he kind of called them on their shit in some ways, which was people really liked. But at the same time, I think a lot of people were with you. It got pretty long. He talked about Facebook and Instagram, about basically people getting off of those.
Oh, God.
Yes. So
he took his 15 minutes, honey. He took it.
I had some interesting moments, but again, it was really, it was a real break in the tradition of, in my opinion, too, at times, a really stuffy monarchy. I think, they are.
I can see the advantages of it, being this is as opposed to what it usually is. I can see that.
And I thought it was really touching, Meghan's mom. I thought they really highlighted her. Meghan's white side of the family has basically been trying to sell all kinds of tabloid stories about her. Her father in the week leading up to the wedding ceremony.
Staged some fake pictures or something. Yep. I heard about that. And so the white side is the fucked up side of this relationship.
Yes.
Thank God. Yes. We got one. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes, exactly. So Meghan's mom was beautiful. She was very emotional throughout it. And I think she was the real star of the show. Of course, big name celebrities were there. You had Idris Elba.
Yeah, I saw Oprah was there. I saw Serena there. And I was just like, when have we ever been invited to one of these?
Well, I think that was another big moment, right? You had a lot of people of color there and a lot of prominent people. So people were very happy about that. And I think it was a significant moment. I hear you. I don't know how much of even I'm a fan necessarily of the monarchy, but I think it was great to at least see them evolving in a way.
But do you think this is an evolution? Do you think that we can claim this as a plus one or as a win? Do you think something changes because some black pussy is in the monarchy?
I love the way you
keeping it real.
Well, I think, you know what? Don't you think, like with everything, it's okay. The real test is like what happens in the future. Do they is this all a front? Because right? People are either full of shit or they really walk the walk.
Right.
So I think it would be interesting. I do think Harry, his Invictus games, which are really popular in the sense of a charity that really helps a lot of wounded vets. I think he has a real civic spirit in him that she seems to be embracing. And I think if they do that for, a diverse group of people and diverse charities, you might see a big change. But I
did see some I actually, when I was in the airport in the layover, I saw like this little docu-series on her. And I actually learned a lot about her, that she had went to these countries and helped these in Africa get clean water. Like she basically helped them with this pump system. I can't remember what country it was because I was drinking. But and so what was happening is these little girls would have to walk miles to get clean water. And instead of doing that, she helped with this irrigation system that got the water right to them, which was allowing the girls to then go to school every day. And so I learned this is before him. Like these are things that she was doing. And apparently her ex-husband is some producer and he was making a movie about her life. And they got divorced because they lived in two different, I guess she was filming in Toronto. He was in LA, something like that. And they grew apart because of work. But he was doing some docu-series or something about her life. So apparently she was like this really exceptional, humanitarian, which I didn't know about. And so it fits where she's going. I just hope that she doesn't turn into one of them. Like, just say, fuck it, I'm just going to be one of them. I hope that it ends with her actually being a change, like one step towards it, because you can't tell me that this what's the queen's name?
The Queen Mother, Queen Elizabeth.
She has got to be pissed off about this. Like,
I mean, that's an interesting, yeah. Wouldn't you like? I mean, of course, they're so guarded. You never know like what the real deal is. But yes, you wonder what their real reaction is.
her fucking, what is he? Her grandson.
Yeah, he's her
Grandson
grandson.
has a black, like, I don't give a fuck what, because people are like, oh, you take the race of your father. No, you don't, actually. You take your nose. What nose do you have? Okay, bitch. She had a bell pepper, okay? I saw the pictures. She's a black woman, okay? She had her nose done. I don't have any problem with that. She's a black woman. And he is clearly in a family that has been known for racism.
Right.
Like,
right.
You know what I mean? This is the first. Like, the first. So I'm just thinking to myself, like, what does this really mean? Like, does it mean anything? It really depends on what she makes it, you know?
I agree. I think it's what she makes it and what they make it together. And I will say, I mean, I do think it was really inspiring in the fact, even, you know, Megan is 36 years old. She's been divorced, which even those
that just
things,
being divorced and she's marrying him is like, bitch, how dare you come up in here with your old tarnished ass? Like, she shouldn't even be able to wear white.
I know.
You know, she wore white like a motherfucker.
She did. She looked great. I mean, I thought she looked super comfortable. I mean, that whole ceremony, she looked like
relaxed. She belonged there. Like, bitch, I was ready. I was ready for this moment. What the fuck you mean? I've been ready. Like, I saw the little shit that I saw on Instagram. I was like, damn, this bitch looking like she owning every moment of this. And he looked like he wanted to fuck her in the church. Okay.
Yes.
The way he looks at her, I was like, ooh, that'll do something to you. If your man look at you like that.
I agree.
Oh man, I expect babies very soon because she's 36. She got to get going. She's got to get going. Exactly. She might be pregnant right the fuck now. Okay. I wouldn't put it past her.
I think you're right. So I think it's just sort of like you said, to be determined.
So we should care until we shouldn't care, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, I do think like anyone. I mean, I think, you know, she's now the Duchess of Sussex, whatever that means.
What does that mean too? Like, what does it matter? Like, I found out that his net worth is not that far from me, bitch. So I'm thinking to myself, like, wait, we close. Nigga, me and him, our net, we close. We are running a tight race, my nigga. So why do I care about them? What is the Duchess of Sussex? Like, what does it matter?
I think you raise a great point. Like, what does it matter? I mean, the only thing that matters is they get an incredible, public media platform. And what do they choose to do with that? But I'm with you. You know, at the end of the day, they're like not that rich. I mean, I do think Prince Harry has from the get-go done things very differently. And, you know, Queen Elizabeth, her husband, Prince Philip, they're not going to be around forever. I mean, they're both in their 90s.
They both got 2 feet in the grave. She is hanging on to that motherfucker like this, bitch. She's hanging on to that casket on the outside like this. You can't even see me, but my nigga, she's hanging on like, man.
So, I mean, I think it could really be something very positive because for whatever reason, and I'm definitely with you at times, why do people care as much as they care? I do think they have a powerful platform. So it would be great if they use that to really,
Nothing would please me more than Meghan doing something incredibly pro-black as the queen dies. Like the last thing she sees is like pro-black in her castle, in her kingdom. Like, I truly feel that she's a racist. That's what I think. And this is just looking at things. I've seen the movies about her. She hated her own fucking daughter-in-law who was a great humanitarian, a great person. You know, and so I'm thinking to myself, like, I would love for people that are racist to, on their way out of life, to see that there are people changing things right up under their nose. Like their own, like her grandchildren are going to be playing with black little mixed grandchildren. The race has been mixed, bitch.
Right.
You know, and I think it's good for people to see that we have to eventually get over this whole black people beneath you. And you know, like at some point, it's going to take this entire country to figure out that black people are being treated a different way and being disrespected. And so that we all can just wake up and be like, none of this is okay.
Right.
You know,
Right.
and if it takes the people in power to die and those of us underneath them, you know, the grandchildren who are going to be the, you know, the people that succeed all of these great estates and things, I feel like we have to start at the bottom and eventually get there. And this is kind of like, I could see this as a kind of a reason to care. If she gets in there and changes the royal family and we start seeing some different things coming out of there.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that's where the opportunity is, for sure.
We shall see, honey. We shall see. So what days are your podcast out? I'm going to let you go, but tell them what days it comes out and how they can, well, you already told them how they can find it, but what days do you air?
I have new episodes every Monday and Wednesday, and I co-host with a great guy, Paul Wharton, who's a hysterical local DC personality. He was on he's been a reality show star. He's been on Made and on the first season of Real Housewives of DC, so he's very comical. Monday, Wednesdays, it's Hey Frage on iTunes and Spotify, and you are awesome, and thank you for being such a great friend, Miko.
Hey, thank you for also being a great friend, and we will be in touch soon. I gotta. When I hang up, I gotta spill some tea, bitch. I gotta update you on some shit that I can't tell nobody else. But yes.
Oh, I can't wait. Well, call me later. Call me later. I want to hear it.
Okay, talk to you later.
All right, bye, hon.
Peace. Bye. We're back. Hey, Omar.
Hey.
Quick break we had to take, but we're back now, and my guest, I'm not gonna say who was supposed to be my guest. I'm gonna cuss his monkey ass out in a couple days, but subbing in for my guest is the new New York Giants defensive lineman AJ Francis. Yes. Yeah. We're gonna ask him exactly how he became a Giant after everything he did in Washington. We'll talk. He's got a big basketball IQ and funny as fuck. So let's talk to AJ Francis about the shenanigans that are taking place in New York. What's good?
I'm good. How you?
Good. Omar's on with me. Say hi.
What's up?
Hey, what's happening, man? I didn't even know you was a Giant now.
Yeah, bro.
Shit changes quickly, right?
When did that happen? What happened?
Yes, update Omar, please.
Keep a real nigga down.
So, AJ had an amazing season with the Washington Redskins last year. And we were anticipating a starting 2018 season at nose tackle, correct?
Yeah, and I mean, literally, the Thursday the draft started, I had a meeting with the D-line coach for the Washington football team. And
I caught that.
Yes. You saw that?
And
you peeped?
He told me going into the season going to OTAs that I should be the starting nose. And then on Monday, the front office decided to release me.
Okay.
Literally.
On Tuesday, the Giants flew me up to New York, and on Wednesday, they signed me. This is the week after the draft. So there's a lot of fugaziness in this league, and we all very aware of this already.
Yeah.
And I say this, I do consider you a friend, but your stifling career has been puzzling to me because you should be playing, if not starting somewhere.
Yeah, that's what I said. At least half the
talent-wise.
Yeah.
And the worst part is that, like, it'd be different if I'd been put in and I didn't ball with every opportunity ever I got. But I just go out and ball every year, and yet, big wigs up top, for some reason, they've never seemed to care.
Undrafted.
Because you're not somebody's draft pick.
Yep.
They not riding you to a raise.
And sadly, you know what's so funny? These are the stories I feel like the NFL should be talking about, because these happen way more than the ones where you are the glorified athlete who's the star, who's the god, who's the man. That is
how many years
rare.
Was in Atlanta before they ever gave him even a chance to play?
4.
You know what I'm saying?
4 years.
They had Brick Grimes on the bench, just sitting there.
4 years.
I remember when AJ was in Miami, I was just like, this dude needs to be playing, if not starting. I don't get it.
It causes problems. If you don't get to the quarterback, he's gonna get to the running back or cause problems on that D line. And that's what you need your tackle to do. You need him to pretty much take on double teams and cause fucking problems throughout the whole game.
Every middle linebacker I ever played with loves
because you're gonna make sure they're good. Oh my God. Hold on one second, AJ. Hold on one second. Oh, you're calling now?
Yeah, I was in a meeting.
Why didn't you tell me that?
Because I was in a meeting already.
Well, guess what? I'm about to have you on a three-way call with my other guest who's subbing in for you. Is that cool? Or do you want to do this another time?
I mean, who's the other guy?
He's a football player for the Giants. His name's AJ Francis. I think it would be very... Oh, damn. All right, well, next week. For sure. Okay?
Oh, so it's the same time? Oh.
No, it's going to be on Sunday next week. I usually record on Sundays, but I've delayed today.
Oh, okay.
So do you want to do it next week?
It was a certain time. Okay, yeah. My bad.
1 o'clock is what I said for you. Remember? You said, okay, 1 o'clock.
But I was been in a meeting, so I was like, okay, I should be out at 1. I look up, it's 2. I was like, oh, let me call.
So what's up? You want to join me, yes or no?
I was by my own self.
Okay, well, next week we're going to reschedule it, okay?
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Bye. Hello, AJ?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was my guest. I told him he will reschedule him for another time. We got you now.
Oh,
so,
respect.
Yes, respect. So anyways, what were we talking about?
How the league is fugazi.
How the league is fugazi.
The one thing I've learned from covering the NFL for 10 years, a full decade of covering the NFL, is that a lot of people are pretending that they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
I would say my percentage would be 60%.
Faking
and that's a conservative estimation.
That's being nice.
That's being nice. That's a conservative estimation of the amount of head coaches, GMs, personnel people, position coaches that are pretending that they know what they're doing.
They have no fucking clue. I figured that out a long time.
And they got just connections to get them in the spot that they.
Yes.
This is why I was trending when I said that Stephen Ross keeps hiring his Jew buddies. And suddenly
you're not supposed to use the word Jew. That was the education that I learned.
Jew. From
your situation, honestly, I was a 30-something-year-old man. From your situation, yes. I never knew once that calling a Jewish person a Jew was a derogatory term.
Me either. And
all
my Jewish homies say, this is my Jew homie so-and-so when they introduce me to a nigga. And I'm like, yo, what up? This the Jew homie? I didn't even know it was offensive.
I did not know.
Yeah.
Oh, what's up? This the Jew homie?
Yeah.
And they was trying to string you up and burn you at the stake because you called people Jew
buddies. And all I said was, one thing I will give Stephen Ross credit for, and I wish black people did.
Yeah, amen.
Buddies.
They take care of themselves. They take care of each other. Hispanics as well. You should see that from here in Miami.
Yes.
Hispanics, they take care of each other.
And that's all I was saying in that whole statement. And I called it.
Also,
go ahead.
I done been in enough corner stores in Baltimore and DC to know that Asian families take care of each other too.
They do.
Yeah, and the only culture, and I think a lot of it is programmed by what we've been through in slavery and what we've endured, and how they try to separate us and how they try to use us to, house niggas and field niggas. Exactly.
The brown paper bag
is African Americans.
Yes.
But I'll be honest with you. With this wedding, planning this wedding, I have gone out of my way to try to give my business to African American people.
Good for you.
People of color, not just African American, people of color. And I've worked hard at it, but it's so hard.
Why is it so hard?
Because one, their prices are a little higher.
Damn.
Two,
black excellence.
Two, the professionalism is not always on point. They'll show up late for meetings.
You think it's because you're black and they feel like
no. I don't think it was because I was. You making me feel like because I'm black they wasn't. You gotta bring it with me. But like I'm supposed to meet with.
But on the other side of that, a lot of black people on your end will pay the black vendor late, thinking this is a brother.
That's absolutely true.
Him half his money now,
or I could change the terms of our agreement, even though it was a business agreement. Yes,
that we just have to get better.
It just makes me the lack of professionalism makes me doubt that this important day of mine you're going to give it the seriousness and focus that
Well, I think what you need to do is not assume that we are all like that. And you need to find very professional black businesses, and they are out there. You just have to work a little harder to find them.
It's not just for black businesses, but just anytime I need to get something done, especially when I've been doing in music, because people be taking this sweet ass time, producers and engineers and shit, is that I follow an 80-20 rule. However much I'm supposed to pay you, I'm gonna give you 80%, so that you getting just enough to know that this other 20% ain't shit. But no, if I don't get what I need and I pay for,
you're not getting that 20. Yeah, you're not getting it. It's a good way to do it.
I don't feel comfortable giving you 80%. Shit.
Well, you know, he's in a different business. This is in music. First of all, AJ had an album out called OTAs. I'm obsessed with it. With 1 million streams for a little nigga, a football nigga. AJ, it has been said that you are the best rapper in the NFL. It has been said.
I'm the best rapper
in sports. Period. I will give you that too.
One of the best rappers on.
The only one person that I might, I like some of Dame Lillard's stuff. Yeah. Like you got to hear Dame Lillard. He got some shit.
I've heard.
So it's no. I'm not saying you're better than him or he's better than you. All I'm saying, I would have to give it a better listen. But I would pick you right now. But I do
Dame
like his shit. Yeah.
Love me some Dame Dollar. If you ever want to get bodied on the track, I'm easy to find.
I'm easy to find. You're silly. But congrats on that as well, AJ. So let's get into some topics. I don't want to hold you too long. We've been on for a minute too. First thing first, we lost the Carolina Panthers. I really was hoping it would be the Carolina Black Panthers. We lost it to a.
You was never gonna get them anyway to begin with. So
I just like the hope. You know what I'm saying? You just
Here's the thing, though.
You just like the hope.
If the NFL wasn't going to let Donald Trump get a team, they damn sure not let Diddy.
Right. I know, but it was just cool.
Did you know? Did you know this? That Stephen Ross, there's a minority owner who is African American, and that's probably going to be the majority owner when Stephen Ross sells.
I don't believe none of that shit.
Yeah, I know you don't.
I don't believe none of that. But he was a Steelers minority owner named David Tepper. Nigga paid $2.28 billion in cash.
Jesus.
In cash.
What the hell he do?
I bet it was in ones.
Nah, he ain't paying no one.
If it was Diddy, it would have been in ones.
And Ciroc vouchers.
And Ciroc vouchers.
Don't knock Diddy Hustle. Ciroc tastes mediocre.
Can we expect anything different from this Carolina Panthers team now that one bigoted billionaire is out? Now we have another one. Should we expect anything different? Are there still going to be pussies being grabbed and foot massages up in the boxes when there's no game on, and thigh massages on the way to get coffee in the morning? Like why are we surprised that this rich white man was doing all this shit? He's a billionaire.
I wasn't surprised.
Yeah, I was like, I bet you they all doing it. It was surprising that he got caught, that somebody didn't take the money and told.
Yeah, that somebody snitched.
Yeah, that's what the surprise is. So the ownership is gone now. Now we are going to find out exactly what we have in Carolina.
I mean, they got a quarterback.
The owner really don't never affect the team.
It don't.
Period.
No, but what the owner can affect is where the money goes.
You mean, but their owner Richardson was notoriously cheap.
That's what I'm saying. I want to know what we gonna have now. Richardson wouldn't give you a fucking thing. Like he was the stingiest motherfucker.
He was. Yeah. So
now it's like, is their organization gonna change? Is he gonna be a guy that will go out and be a big spender?
I mean, he comes from the Pittsburgh tree, so it's about continuity. It's about culture. So I'm sure that's gonna be his focus to build and continuity and culture take about 5 years to build. Yeah. See, it's funny we came up with the same number because
we've watched it. You don't see it.
Exactly. You can't talk about continuity and culture and say, okay, we're going to give this guy 2 years and expect continuity and culture to be built. No.
It has to grow throughout the entire organization for that to take effect.
The good thing about building continuity and culture, the easiest way to do that is consistency at the quarterback position. Mm-hmm. And as long as they cut the check, they're going to have a quarterback for at least another 2 years.
Talk that shit.
That's true.
That's for sure going to happen. Yeah, so I guess we're gonna see what kind of coins he want to spend. That's gonna tell us everything we need to know about this new owner, and hopefully he if he is racist, he tucks it in for longer.
They all got to tuck it in. Come on, you can't hurt the brand.
I say you got to tuck it in for longer, than you normally have to. One more subject off football. PGA star's wife arrested after attacking him and his mother for playing a bad round. The wife of professional golfer Lucas Glover was arrested for allegedly assaulting him.
Husband?
Shut up, nigga. I was gonna talk some shit. You know, nigga, this is my sister, y'all. So the homegirl, she just white. She on the white side. So the homie, I'm finna call this bitch the homie. So the homie Krista,
she tossed him the fade because
she tossed him a fade because he didn't play well. Keep in mind, he is an actually talented golfer. And then I heard his mom tried to get in on her. She faded her too. And the sickest part about all of this, let's hear the husband's quote after all this. He said, regrettably, although Krista was charged, we are comfortable that the judicial system is able to address what actually happened, and Krista will be cleared in this private manner. He wrote that on Twitter. We thank you for your respecting our privacy. He's a battered man. He's a battered husband, dog.
She need to go to jail.
She need to go to jail? Dog.
Around his ass
Dog, he said he's on her side.
As long as he doesn't testify against us, the charge is going to be dropped. Good. Yeah. Unfortunately, people don't realize this. And when I saw the story, I was like, y'all need to speak up because this shit is happening. This out here for real.
People think that I beat Brent, right?
Yes, of course.
People think like, yeah, I bet you Miko be beating Brent too. And it's like, people really are stupid. Like, they really have no proof that I am over here doing anything to Brent except sucking him dry. Like, what the fuck? What else? What other proof do you have of anything? Feeding him quite well.
Yes.
You know, so it's like, it's so crazy that people think that I'm doing this.
The best rabbit food this side of the Mississippi.
Fuck out of here, AJ.
Hey, look how long he's been in the league. She must be doing something right.
Let me talk my shit, nigga. I'm over here doing it right.
Miko will make a steak on your ass real quick.
You fuck niggas quickly.
Hey, she
don't let it get twisted. When my nigga say he wants some dead animal on the plate, what I do, AJ?
Dead animal.
I put the dead animal on the plate, my nigga. Like I eat all the gray. What you call it, AJ? The grass and the green, the bark.
Yeah,
AJ be talking shit about everything I eat.
Your diet like 50% parsley.
There's some cilantro in there.
Yeah. One more topic. Becky Hammond is in the mix, and I'm gonna put air quotes, AJ, in the mix for the Detroit Pistons head coaching job. Should we take this serious? This in the mix, or is this like how the NFL says they have to interview a black coach just to get it out the way? Is this what this is? They just making sure they don't fuck.
They ain't even bothering with that no more. They pretending like they doing it, but they ain't really doing it.
Oh my God.
What's crazy is like, I would love for her to get the job, strictly off the strength of, I just want to see how that experiment will work.
Yeah, I want to see how the players react to having a female telling them what to do and like running the plays. And
that's not the part. That's not the part I'm worried about. I'm talking about like. You think these coaches don't be knowing how they players be hoeing out in these streets?
Oh God. You think? Oh my! You think she would get it? No, she would not. You know, the NBA is a different monster. Like they can have women in their room the night before. There's no curfews. Like there's none of that.
I'm talking about how a woman would approach a group of men she's supposed to be leading out here hoeing in these streets.
Man, she knows it's part of the life. She with the San Antonio. Yeah, I mean, she with the.
She gotta know. She gotta know.
If she the female, because here's the thing: the male head coach don't give a shit about who your wife is, who your girlfriend is.
See, now I don't know. I don't like what you're trying to say. You're trying to act like she's incapable of separating herself from her job.
No. What I'm saying is that she's going to be able to and want to become friends with
wives
and girlfriends.
Okay.
I don't think she would. You can't do that. I've been a wife of a player for a long time, and what I can say is, in the NFL, anyways, a lot of the coaches' wives they draw a fine line between. I've had two, one head coach and one GM wife that have actually gotten close enough to me to where, like, if I really wanted to, I could expose some shit about them, like some scandalous, like I could tell some business. But most of them, they keep to themselves away from the business anyway. So I don't feel like I think she would keep it professional in that way and not cross those lines. That's what I think.
I would hope so. But
yeah, because you have to do that. You kind of have
my
to.
thing is, I'm not sure the emotional.
Look at you.
I'm be real. We gonna have a real conversation. We gonna have a real conversation. One, let's not pretend and act like you a real woman. Let's just.
Me?
Yes.
I think Becky Hammond has Miko in her. She
okay. She might. But let's not act like you represent a woman. You like 55% dude at least, and then like
and
respect.
That number is conservative.
Yeah, and I'm being conservative with that number.
Respect.
You know, like 65% dude and with titties in other parts.
Yeah, you like a nigga that can wear makeup.
Yeah. Like Lil Uzi, you like the Lil Uzi version for women.
I'm the Lil Uzi.
Yeah.
I would like to be the Drake. I'm sorry. I want to be Drake.
See, but then you be all in your, and that's my thing. You be all in your feelings if you were the Drake.
No. Drake be playing with y'all, dog. Drake playing.
I know.
I think Drake playing a role on y'all niggas.
I just saw an interview where he was like, what bothers him is how emotional people think he is.
I think he likes this shit. If Drake was as emotional as he is, he would absolutely let niggas know how he really getting down in these streets. And he don't. He keeps a lot of shit right. Emotional niggas can't handle that. Emotional niggas want everybody to know. Huh?
While people bullshit, Drake got one of the best body lists in history.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
I would argue to you that we don't know what Jay-Z's body count looks like.
Yes, we do.
We don't know. We don't know
since Beyonce, but we knew before that.
No, we don't know.
We know. Drake is undercover. Drake is one of the niggas you could do some shit with and know that he ain't finna be out here bragging about it. And that bitch niggas, emotional niggas can't do that. Super emo niggas, they can't do that. So I'll give them that. They need recognition. They need recognition from some niggas that don't matter. And Drake don't seem to care about that. That's why I think he's playing the game. I think it's a role, and he likes it. If sometimes he likes it, sometimes he don't. So,
what's crazy about the when you talking about with Becky Hammond is the fact that like I'm surprised that she's not that I'm saying that she don't deserve it, but that she's rose up these ranks
quickly
in the manner that she did.
Yeah,
because niggas be assistant coaches in the NBA for
forever,
20 years,
forever. Yeah, and then you know what that tells me? That tells me she's doing everything right.
I see it so much now in professional sports. They're making lanes for women, and their entry points. And these women rise fast because they can prove that they can do the job.
And you got to do everything right. It's like being a black person when you're a woman and trying to be like. You're right.
You can't have a misstep.
Yeah, you can't fuck up. And she's clearly not been fucking up. And she must be on her shit. She must have great skills. Like she must. The guys must have been saying some shit positive about her for her to even rise like this.
No, like I remember Paul Gasol came out and said, "Bro, I got multiple NBA championships. I'm an all-star. I'm probably gonna go to the Hall of Fame. I done been around the best minds in the history of coaching, and Becky Hammond deserved to be a head coach."
Boom. That's what it takes. That's what it takes of players to do that. Like, that, and that speaks to me. That tells me she's doing a lot of shit right. So good luck, Becky.
Crazy, but the thing is that like, it must be nice to be in a league where people actually give a shit about what the players think.
Yes, because it's not in the NFL.
It's never gonna happen. It's never gonna happen in the NFL. So it don't even bring that up.
Give it up. Okay? Never happening.
Nigga, using an employee. Okay.
You don't have a say.
You are not. Call your stakeholder, but you're really not. Your weak ass union. Y'all ain't no stakeholders. Y'all are employees.
And the crazy part is, we're not even employees. Like
contract workers,
gladiators.
We out here like
hired. You're hired.
Weak ass.
Hired help.
Weak ass. Yeah, exactly. Like we don't even really belong. We just there.
Oh my God. Switch subjects real quick. So Jamaal Crawford said, instead of always working out with a trainer, lifting weights and all that shit, he stays in the gym playing basketball, perfecting his craft. Now,
a lot of people were bigging him up for saying this and saying like, yes, that's what you need. You need to get in the gym. Exactly. I think that is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. And the reason is when you watch the NBA and you see all these injuries and everything happening, it's because these players are not actually training. They're just playing basketball. LeBron James is a perfect example of what can happen if you actually train and lift weights and run and do things outside of the court.
See, the thing is, like, I think if I played basketball, like, in a professional sense, like, I would definitely not work out, like, lift weights as much as I do now as a football player. But I would definitely still want to, like,
you have to strength train. You have to strength train. You can't just skill train, because what happens is when you bang into a nigga, guess what? You crumble. You got to be able to withstand some of that bang bang, some of that contact, because football is a collision sport, basketball is a contact sport, and you have to be able to withstand some of that. Your knees have to be strong enough. You have to do all these other things, and I think basketball players with this 82 game situation, they don't take sports training serious. Yes, a lot of them. Wow. A lot, and these are my friends. These are people that I actually know. They do not lift weights. They don't run. They just play basketball.
You know what's funny is in the off season, I don't do I do D-line drill work, but for my conditioning, I just play basketball.
Play basketball, yeah.
But that's also not my job.
Yes, it's not your job at all. And you would be able to, I just feel like there needs to be a perfect balance in between the two. And I think right now, a lot of people only care about the skill. They only care about getting up 1,000 jump shots a day, or like fucking getting free throws up. Like, you have to lift weights. Like, you must train. You must get physically strong to get through the 82 games, period.
I didn't even know that was an option for them.
Yes.
Like, I had no idea. I thought everybody was out there doing LeBron James workout.
No.
Hoodie Mello
ain't bench pressed in 10 years, nigga.
He ain't played defense in 10 years either.
Oh, shots fired. Wasn't me. One more question before we get into this.
I got a question for you.
Oh God, what is it, AJ? I know.
Hey, how is Brent holding up with his favorite player being the second best player on his own team?
We finna go into that next. Wait a minute. Before we get there, we have to talk about Jordan and the Netflix documentary that's coming out. Now, of course, we think it's going to be incredible because it's Jordan. But what I want to know is, am I going to learn anything new?
No.
Because if I'm not, what's the point?
Reminiscing.
The point is to let you know that as much as LeBron has done great things, I'm still Jordan.
That's the only point.
And my brand has gone down below Adidas, but I need you to recognize that I'm still Jordan.
The nigga.
Yeah.
So this is basically just for the millennials.
It's a 10-hour commercial.
I want to learn something new, and I feel like Jordan does not let us in. And I tell this to people all the time. I wonder, would Jordan be who he is if he came up in the social media era? If we were able to find out everything about Jordan that we are finding out about LeBron and Kobe and all this shit, I don't think he would be the star that he is.
No, he would be the star, but he wouldn't be loved.
He would be loved. Yeah, that's what I mean. That kind of stuff.
He would be the star,
but you still to get his shoes. If we knew the bullshit that Jordan did.
Jordan was low key a scumbag.
He's still a scumbag. Still.
I mean, the man literally would lose hundreds of thousands of dollars in Vegas. You telling me that somebody with a cell phone wouldn't be catching that shit?
Right.
Flipping out because he lost 400 bands.
Swinging on niggas, throwing drinks everywhere, chips everywhere, kicking shit. Jordan done did some shit. And the only way we're going to know about it is if people come forward that saw it and tell it. Mm-hmm. And if they don't do this, this is going to be whack.
It's always been so funny to me how, like, these old heads, like Charles Barkley got the nerve to talk about anybody. Charles Barkley threw somebody out a window.
Oh my God. Like, he needs to shut all the fucking way up, dog. Barkley be tripping.
It's funny.
Why are you talking about anybody, bro?
He's a cool dude, though. I remember.
He's funny.
I hung out with him one fucking time, and he was cool as shit.
He's funny, but that's it. But he's a piece of shit, and he's a hypocrite. Period.
Here's the thing. The one thing, just to say this about Charles Barkley, and I find it hilarious because he talks about these super teams. Charles Barkley was lived for finding the super team.
Nigga, you hop. What you think? We can't look at your career, nigga? You hop trying to find a ring too. Knock it off, nigga. You just never made it because guess what? You played in the Jordan era.
That Shaq. Google me, Chuck. Google me. Google me, Chuck. That shit was hilarious because Shaq called his card.
Yes, he can't take it. But AJ, let's go now. Shit, playoffs. So last night we saw the Warriors take a 2-1 lead over the Rockets. Steph Curry is back. They kept saying the reason he was playing like shit is because he's injured. He's always injured when he's playing bad. It's never because niggas was making him find more difficult shots or he was off his game or he didn't want to go to the hole, which is much needed.
Yet somehow he was injured for game 1 and 2, but he was healthy for game 3. Nigga, if you don't go somewhere.
He's been fine. It's just they were guarding him different. They were making him take more difficult shots and not letting him get those easy looks and comfortable looks that he's used to getting. And this game
he was in his bag last night.
Yeah. In his motherfucking bag. Now on defense, he was also getting thrown into a bag. And he's another example of a nigga that needs a strength train. Because do you see how many times he hit the fucking floor?
CP3 be pushing him down.
Nigga, they just throw him around like a rag doll all game. And he's an easy win on defense. He really is.
Because he's $135, like Brent.
No.
Relax, AJ. My nigga's $185. Fuck out of here. I ain't even $135, nigga. Damn. But so how do we see this series finishing? You know, game 1 we saw the Rockets not able to score, not playing any defense. That's typical. Game 2 we saw everybody flourishing, and it looked like they played a little bit of defense with the help of the Warriors just being off and looking like they took a night off. Game 3 got back to normalcy, which is Steph Curry getting 35 and them closing these niggas down by 20. I fell asleep on the game. So right when the third quarter happened, I seen Steph lighten it up. I just put my blanket over my head and just curled up and took a power nap. And then when I woke up, the shit was over. I was just getting off the plane, too, in my defense. How do we anticipate the rest of this series going? Can Houston find another win, or is this...
They'll sneak one out.
Can they find another win? Maybe.
Can they catch the Warriors off guard?
No,
not 3. We're sure
they will pull one out.
They're gonna pull one more. What do you think, AJ?
I think they might win the next one in Houston.
So we're saying this game 4 is going to be a Warriors win. Then they go to Houston for game 5. They're not going to let it end in Houston. They're going to win that and then go back so it's game 6. Get drugged
in game 6.
Get dragged all through Oakland like a prostitute.
Like E40.
Like an East Oakland prostitute. Now, what do you want to say about? What are you trying to say that Steph Curry is the second? He's a back. What are you calling him? Understudy.
He's the player on his own
understudy
team.
on his own team.
Yeah.
But do you understand? Did you ever see how when Steph wasn't playing that not saying the Warriors can't win games, but it's different. It's a different type of struggle when he's not playing. I feel like Durant is clearly the best player on the team, but Steph is the glue.
Don't get me wrong. Steph Curry is when he's not bullshitting and he's healthy and he's playing well, he's the 3rd best player in the NBA. Period.
Respect.
But the 2nd best player in the NBA is also on his team.
Mm-hmm.
So it be like that sometimes. Now,
yeah.
I just like to say that because I know that pissed Brent off. But and
He's such a hater.
And KD and Maryland niggas, so you know I got to show love. But,
of course, that's why you showing love.
Yeah,
I have some different opinions about it, but I'm gonna reserve those for the finals. I'm gonna talk my shit about KD in the finals.
Oh, you don't have to. Hey, I get out chest now. Hey, look, as long as KD and Steph Curry are still on the same team, ain't nobody gonna win no rings other than them. Period.
Okay, respect. But what I'm saying is,
but somebody won a ring already.
No, he wasn't. They wouldn't.
Oh, yeah, that's
well.
My
point. Thing is this: if he weren't on the Warriors, it would be a little more difficult to do what he's doing.
Say KD went to the Wizards, he wouldn't be.
You see what I'm saying? Like
he wouldn't be pimping niggas like the way he is now.
There's no shade because you should go wherever the fuck you want.
You know what? The thing is that I think actually for his game, KD might have been a better fit in DC.
I agree. I think so as well. But he didn't want to. He wouldn't have been a better team, and he wouldn't have went directly to the rooftop and won 2 championships.
He definitely wouldn't have. He might have won one eventually.
Yeah.
Like he probably might would have won one this year because I think KD, Jamaal, and Bradley Beal would get this Cavaliers team out
a problem.
the way.
I don't know because John Wall might have gotten in the way too because he be in the way. No shade, he was in the way this year. He was in the way, and you could tell.
He was just hurt too much this year.
And then when he came in, he kept trying to come back and do too much.
Ugly dreads.
Oh God, that shit was so trash. I didn't understand it.
It's a struggle sometimes.
I didn't understand it. Quickly, Game 4 tonight. Cavs, Celtics. I was at Game 3. It was incredible. The atmosphere was great. I'm hoping for the same thing. What happens in the rest of this series, AJ? We saw that. Let me preview. We saw LeBron and the Cavaliers. The first 2 games looked like there was no hope. I was sad. I was a little weak about it. And then we get home and it's like a whole nother team. What can we expect? Is this over now? Have we waken up the sleeping giant? Have the Cavs woken up, or is this still a 7-game series in Boston's favor?
I think it's go ahead. I think it's a 7-game series. I would never bet against LeBron, and just based on the history now in the finals, I'll bet against LeBron. But
this in the Eastern Conference, somebody got to
LeBron and the cast of no names, they gonna find a way to at least take it to Game 7.
What do you think, AJ?
I think that the Cavs, I could easily see them winning in 6. I really could just see them running the next 3, like telling Boston step.
And why is that?
Because Boston Celtics' best player is Al Horford.
Preach about it.
No shade.
Preach about it.
Al Horford's not a top 20 player in the NBA.
Respect.
But they are playing a great deal of team ball.
The reason that you have to respect them is because of the team aspect and also their coaching, and he's clearly out coaching T-Lou.
And Stevens might be the best coach in the NBA right now.
Yeah, he's out coaching T-Lou, and he knows how to use his players to his advantage. No, they don't have the best players in the league. They actually are missing 2 of their star players. However, they're still in the Eastern Conference Finals, quite simply because these men can actually play basketball and they're following direction, period. Yeah. And that...
Go ahead. Cavs in 6.
Yeah, I had them in 5 early, but, clearly it's going to take 6 because they lost 2.
I'll put the Cavs in 7.
Cavs in 7. So we got 5. I can't even do 5 now, but 6 and 7.
Yeah.
And are we anticipating, let me just say this, are we anticipating any type of fuckery to take place in this series? Because I see it brewing. I just see a lot of tempers flaring. I see a lot of aggression. I feel like something's going to boil over in this series. Everybody's waiting for it for the Rocket series, but I think this Cavs series, I think a lot is happening. And these referees, the way these calls are being called. And
you think it's going to get physical?
Yes. Players, this is how I feel about it. First of all, Kyrie is sitting on the bench watching this, okay? The reason he left LeBron is because he wanted to be LeBron and beat LeBron. And
I honestly think that if he was healthy, he would.
I think you're right. I think if he was healthy right now, this would be a bigger problem. This would be Jeez Louise, my nigga. But how much, like, I feel like that these guys have a battery in their back for him. They are like caping for him, sitting on that bench like, yo, we about to take this nigga down.
They were caping against the 76ers too.
That was different. That was different. This is LeBron. And this is Kyrie. There is personal history here, and that's why I feel
it's only different for this season because LeBron going Philly next year.
Nah, LeBron going to LA. He going to LA, homie.
I'm going LA. My bet's on LA.
He's not going to LA, bro. Why would he want to go deal with Houston and Golden State, bro? He trying to get the fuck out of the way of them.
Nah.
Because he's LeBron.
I think that he bought a big ass house in LA.
LeBron James.
Why he buy that house, dog? Why?
Why you bought a house in LA?
Because you from there.
No. This is an estate, my nigga. This is a grounds.
This is where they gonna live post life.
Neverland,
yeah,
my nigga.
Neverland.
This nigga's planning on living in LA soon. Because you don't buy a house like that right now, and you don't.
I got homies where they done shop for schools and everything.
Yeah, they shop. Yeah, dog. I don't know. This looking like LA to me. And he did the same thing when he came to Miami. The exact same thing. Before he even got there, I remember I was telling everybody
hold on, you might be right, but I think everybody's overlooking the fact that like billionaires usually be buying big ass houses in a lot of different cities.
But they live in this one. This house, you have to live in this. You don't just buy this one, okay? This is a living house. And I don't see it 5 years from now, him living in it, because I don't anticipate him retiring for at least another 5 years till Bronny is in the NBA.
Where does Bronny want to go to school? That's what this choice is going to be about.
Bronny's going to go to whatever school he wants. They don't have those rules like they did when we was growing up. You can go any high school you want, out of state, everything.
No, but I'm saying, where does he want to grow up and play his formative years of high school ball?
High school. He probably just homeschool and go overseas at 16, play a couple years, and come back and get drafted at 18 and play with his dad. Boom.
That's what I would do.
Yeah, fuck that.
Nigga, your dad LeBron. You don't need what school? Fuck school.
Kenny, that's crazy. So we both got Cavs winning, and we got the Warriors winning the next game.
And then I got Warriors in 5 in the finals.
Fuck you. That's only because I'm mad, okay? I kind of believe you, but I hate you at the same time. Go fuck yourself, okay?
Hey, I will say, I said Warriors in 6 with LeBron 1 in 7.
That you did say that shit, and I was talking my shit too. Oh, I hope I can do it a fucking again. If he win this year, y'all can't tell me shit.
I'm telling you now, if LeBron find a way to beat this Warriors team either this year, next year, whenever, if he find a way to beat a team with KD and
God,
Curry,
you can't say
Clay
nothing.
And Draymond, there's no more argument that he's not the GOAT, bro. Like,
no more.
There's no more argument, bro.
No more. 0. It's finished. Well, AJ, we're gonna let you go, my nigga. I appreciate you coming on and joining me. Thank you for always riding with a sister. Good luck in New York, my nigga. Like, stay warm. What week do we see you?
I don't know.
It's in December, my nigga.
It's a good media market for you.
It's in December. It's going to be cold as a bitch.
Too many media members. You ball out, they can't hide you.
You got your Timbs? No, he's been proven. He done proved that they can hide you.
No.
You got your Timbs, AJ?
Man, I'm from Baltimore, bro. We stay with Timbs.
You got your Timbs.
I got some Butters. I got some Black Jones. I got, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't even know these words. These Butters and shit.
Butters is wheat Timbs.
Wheat. The brown ones. The light beige ones.
Yeah, the Brent ones.
Start calling Brent Butters.
Call my nigga Butters. What up, Butters? The butter. What is the other part of it? It's just Butters?
It's just Butters.
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 I'm gonna call Brent Butters. Brent Butters. That's sick. That's a fucking sick nickname.
It is. It's kind of sweet. It is. Like,
it is kind of. I can't even hate. But anyways, AJ, we shall say goodbye to you.
I appreciate y'all.
Thank you for joining us, and I'll be in touch, my nigga, for sure.
Yeah, y'all can follow me on social media at AJ Francis 410. Check out my music. Check out my, I'll be living out here. I'll be trying to be like iHeartMiko. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be like them.
What you think about that new deal that they just got for WWE?
Man, they got.
That's a good question.
I'm pissed. I was about to buy about like 10 bands of WWE stock, like 3 years ago. 3 years ago when WWE Network first came out, because I thought that the network coming out would be like really good for them, but at first it wasn't. So I was like, thank God I didn't do that. But now that shit is great, and I was a big dumb idiot.
You big dummy. Oh my God. Well, AJ, we gonna let you go. We gonna holler. We'll be in touch soon. All right.
All right. Holler.
All right. Peace. AJ Francis of the New York Giants now. Like, this is team number. He went Dolphins, Patriots, Reds, Washington team,
Tampa Bay.
Seahawks, Tampa Bay, and now the New York Giants. This is team number 6. He's age 28, and every single team he's been on, he has balled the fuck out. It's crazy, right?
I can't even explain why he's not playing on a regular basis and a starter in the NFL. I really can't. There's just some things that I just can't explain, but it is what it is.
We can't explain a lot of shit.
Grinder.
So we gonna end this podcast with a song called "Salary Cap" by Wale, which also is difficult.
You know that's my dude.
You know I like all of his women's music, but
yes,
this one struck me. So we gonna end the podcast with "Salary Cap" by Wale. Thank you guys for joining me. Thank you for always fucking with me. As always, this will be out hopefully today. It's Monday. The game's it's 5:45, so hopefully I can get this out before the game, and hopefully I will have it on the YouTube channel on Wednesday. I'm going to try my best to get it out every Wednesday now so that you guys know that there's a set date that it will be coming out. So please make sure you check for that. Check for my social media, iHeartMiko on everything. Omar, tell them your social media.
I am at Omar Kelly on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat.
As far as, giving freedom and justice and liberty to everybody. It's something that's not happening. And I've seen videos, I've seen circumstances where men and women that have been in the military